Welcome to Eden Pathways. Today's episode takes us into one of the most emotional chapters in Joseph's story. Famine strikes the land, and Jacob sends his sons to Egypt in search of food. Unknowingly, they stand before the very brother they betrayed years ago, Joseph, now Egypt's governor. What unfolds is a test of character, repentance, and God's unfolding plan of reconciliation. Join us as we journey through Genesis 42 to 44 and uncover the powerful lessons of forgiveness, humility, and God's divine providence.
Joseph's brothers in Egypt. The 7 years of plenty passed, just as Joseph had foretold. Now the 7 years of famine began. The land of Egypt was prepared, with full storehouses of grain. But in all the surrounding lands, the people were starving. In Canaan, Jacob and his family had no food. He sent his 10 sons to Egypt to buy grain, but he kept his youngest son Benjamin at home, fearing for his safety. The 10 brothers arrived in Egypt and were brought before the man in charge of all the grain. They bowed low to the ground before him, just as was the custom. They did not know that this powerful Egyptian official was their own brother, Joseph. Joseph recognized his brothers at once, but they did not recognize him. He remembered the dreams he had as a boy, of his brothers' sheaves bowing down to his. He spoke to them harshly, pretending to be a stranger. "Where do you come from?" he demanded. "From the land of Canaan, to buy food," they replied. Joseph accused them of being spies. "You are spies. You have come to see where our land is unprotected," he said. The brothers insisted they were honest men, 12 brothers from one family, with one brother gone and the youngest at home. "This is how you will be tested," Joseph declared. "One of you will stay here in prison, while the rest of you go and bring your youngest brother back to me. Only then will I know you are telling the truth." He had Simeon bound and put in prison. The brothers were filled with fear and guilt, saying to one another, "Surely this has happened to us because of what we did to our brother Joseph." The remaining brothers returned to Canaan with their sacks full of grain. They told their father Jacob everything that had happened. When they found the money they had paid for the grain was back in their sacks, they were terrified. Jacob was heartbroken. "You have taken my children from me," he cried. "Joseph is gone, Simeon is gone, and now you want to take Benjamin too? My son will not go down with you." The famine grew worse. When all the grain from their first trip was gone, Jacob told his sons they must go back to Egypt. But Judah stepped forward and said to his father, "Send the boy with me, and we will go. I will guarantee his safety. If I do not bring him back to you, you can hold me responsible forever." Jacob finally agreed. The brothers, with Benjamin and gifts for the official, made the long journey back to Egypt. When Joseph saw his youngest brother Benjamin, he was so overcome with emotion that he had to leave the room to weep. He then returned and invited them all to a grand feast. After the feast, Joseph had his silver cup secretly placed in Benjamin's sack. As the brothers left the city, Joseph sent his steward to catch them. "The man you have blessed has stolen my master's cup," the steward cried. When the cup was found in Benjamin's sack, the brothers tore their clothes in grief. The brothers were brought back to Joseph. Judah stepped forward and said, "My lord, please let me stay here as your slave instead of the boy. I promised our father I would bring him home. How can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me?" The grief would kill him. Seeing Judah's sacrifice, Joseph could no longer hide his feelings. He wept aloud and said, "I am Joseph. Is my father still living?" The brothers were so terrified they could not answer.
From hunger to healing, Joseph's brothers found themselves in the very hands of the one they once rejected. This story reminds us that God uses even painful circumstances to draw us closer to His plan and to heal broken relationships. As Joseph tested his brothers, God tests us too, shaping our hearts for repentance and restoration. Thank you for watching Eden Pathways. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and continue with us as we follow Joseph's incredible journey of faith, family, and forgiveness.